The story begins with a man named Ben Richards, clutching his daughter in his arms as he desperately pleads for his job back. Ben has been blacklisted by his employers, and now his daughter has been running a fever for the past week. But Ben has no work, no way to afford the medicine she needs. As he leaves, he notices an advertisement for a show called The Running Man. The premise is simple. If you can survive 30 days while being hunted, you win $1 billion new dollars. But Ben isn't crazy enough to go on that show. He heads home instead, where his daughter's condition has worsened. Her coughing is getting more severe. Ben sits there watching TV, flipping through other money-winning game shows. He's made a list of all of them, weighing his options. That's when his wife Sheila walks in. She's brought home some medicine for their daughter, but it's not the real thing. She couldn't get the proper medication that would actually cure her flu. This is just something to make her feel a little better. It's all they can afford right now. Ben tells Sheila he went back to beg for his job, but they wouldn't listen. Sheila responds with quiet understanding. You're just being punished for being a good man. You were just standing up for your guys. Suddenly, their daughter starts coughing violently again. One of her socks is missing. Ben gets up to look for it. Sheila mentions she's heading out to work her shift as a waitress at a bar. But it's not a safe place. The kind of men who hang around there aren't decent people. Ben doesn't want her working there, but they need the money for their daughter's medicine. Ben's afraid. Those savage men, drunk or angry, they're capable of anything. He stops her. Stay here. I'll get the money. Sheila glances at the TV, where another Running Man commercial is playing. She says quietly, people on that show never come back. Ben assures her he's not going on Running Man. He'll try one of the other shows. But Sheila makes him promise. She needs to hear him say it. You won't go on Running Man. He promises. Ben leaves their home, a cramped apartment in the slums where there aren't enough health facilities. He heads to the tryouts, which are being held in the main developed city, where all the wealthy people live. At the base of the network's massive media building, hundreds of desperate people are lined up for the tryouts. Ben joins the queue, but the man standing behind him suddenly collapses. Ben tries to help him, but the guards shove him back, beating him away. He has to go all the way to the back of the line and start over. When his turn finally comes, a red triangle appears next to his name on the screen. His employment history tells the same story over and over. Terminated for insubordination at every single job. Even here, Ben can't hide his anger. It's written all over his face. He meets two others in line, a girl named Laughlin and a guy named Tim. The assessment begins. Everyone's put on treadmills, thrown into different survival scenarios. Ben performs exceptionally well in every single test. He even saves Tim's life multiple times, even though helping others is strictly forbidden in the game. During his mental evaluation, they label him the angriest man to ever enter the game. When the assessment ends, the remaining players are given jumpsuits in different colors. Ben, Tim, and Laughlin all receive red suits. The three of them are called in to meet with the show's producer. One by one, Tim goes in, then Laughlin, and finally Ben. Inside the office, the show's producer, Dan Killian, already knows everything about Ben's family. He knows Ben didn't come here to be on Running Man. But he hands Ben a signing bonus anyway, cash up front. Dan leans back and explains, most anyone has ever won on any other show is $1,000 new dollars. And that's not enough to get your family out of slumside. But on Running Man, merely surviving a single week would put your family in the top 1% of global wealth. Ben shakes his head. But I don't want to get myself killed. Dan smiles. You have what it takes to win this game. You tested off the charts. Dan's done his homework. He's reviewed Ben's employment history, seen how he's been fired again and again for standing up for his coworkers, for risking himself to protect them. Because half the country thinks unions should be illegal, Dan says. But you don't believe that. Dan leans forward. You're a fighter, Ben. You've risked your life for other men. Now do it for you and yours. Ben thinks of his family. His sick daughter, his wife forced to work in dangerous places. And he signs the agreement for Running Man. As he finishes, a woman approaches him with interest. Ben cuts her off immediately. I'm married. An agent named Doug is assigned to him next. Doug will be responsible for Ben's family's security. This is the network's premium security service, Because there's no point in winning all that money just to have your people robbed and killed. Ben has one call he can make to his wife. At Ben's request, Doug agrees to deliver the money to her right away. Ben calls Sheila and tells her, "I'm sending you money. Get our daughter a real doctor and whatever she needs." Then he tells her the truth, "I'm on Running Man." Sheila breaks down in tears. Ben is locked inside a luxury apartment. Before Doug leaves, he hands Ben a photo from his family. Sheila sent back their daughter's missing sock as a good luck charm. When it's time for the show, Ben is fitted with a tracking band. He's told he'll have a chance to speak live on TV, to say whatever he's feeling. The show's host is a man named Bobby. The premise of the show is simple. They bring thieves and fraudsters on as participants, and everyday American citizens have 30 days to report them, capture them, kill them. If they fail, these criminals walk away with millions. Bobby presents Ben to the audience as a traitor. He spilled military secrets to a commie union. The crowd immediately turns on him. They see Ben as a villain. Any citizen who reports him will receive $3,000 new. Then they drag Ben's wife into it, showing her image on screen and painting her as complicit. Ben's rage boils over. When they ask him for his last words, he snarls, "I will burn this building down and everyone in it." Backstage, Dan tells Ben, "You're a game changer. And if you miss this in your contract, every goon you kill earns you a $10,000 bonus." The rules of the game are laid out. Runners receive $1,000 new and a 12-hour head start, during which no one can report them. After that, they must record and post a 10-minute video every day. The longer they survive, the higher their prize money climbs. Survive all 30 days and they win $1 billion new. But standing in their way are 5 hunters, led by Chief McCone. The 3 runners descend from the building. Their 12-hour head start begins. Ben changes his clothes and slips out into the city. He makes his way downtown and hails a taxi. But the driver recognizes him immediately. Still, he takes Ben where he needs to go. The driver just wants one thing: a photo with him. "Be nice," the driver warns, "or people will report you." Ben has the taxi stop abruptly and bolts from the vehicle. He heads to see an old acquaintance named Malia. "I need 2 IDs and a gun," Ben says. Malia stares at him. The Running Man? Just by being here, Ben has put Malia in danger too. But because of their old friendship, Malia agrees to help. He changes Ben's appearance and creates new IDs for him. Malia has something else in his shop: BFEs. Extremely dangerous explosives. But these aren't for sale. Malia gives Ben some advice. "Your own kind will sell you out in a second. Find the busiest place you can and disappear in the crowd." Ben tries to explain. "Malia, I had to do it." Malia shakes his head. "No, you didn't. I was going to bring you on as a partner here. I wanted to tell you that myself. But now, just lay low." All over the city, giant screens are broadcasting Ben's face. He boards a train using his fake appearance and new ID. But a little boy keeps staring at him. Ben leans in and hisses. The boy just points at Ben's mustache. "It's coming loose." Ben rips off the fake mustache and checks into a hotel. But even there, his photo is plastered everywhere on every screen. Ben rushes to his room. The 12-hour head start is about to expire. The first thing he does is record his mandatory 10-minute video. He goes outside, posts it, and hurries back. Day 1 ends in that room. But elsewhere, the hunters have tortured Malia, forcing him to give up Ben's new fake identity. They track down which hotel he checked into and head straight there. Chief McCone opens the door to Ben's room. He aims his gun directly at Ben's head. But it's just a nightmare. Ben jolts awake. He turns on the TV and sees that the hunters have already spotted Tim. Tim made a foolish mistake, flirting with a clerk and actually telling her he's on Running Man. Chief McCone tracked him down. The hunters killed him. Ben quickly extends his hotel stay for 3 more days, then slips out. He travels from New York City straight to Boston, where he approaches a man and offers him $200 new in exchange for a place to hide from the network for 30 days. Ben presents himself as a soldier. The man directs him to a hostel. When Ben arrives at the room, there's some leftover belongings from previous tenants scattered around. Among the items, he finds a hand grenade. Ben stands by the window, talking to himself as he looks outside. Then a notification reminds him, it's time to post his video. Near the post box, a few people are hanging around. Among them is a strange man, shouting and talking to himself erratically. Ben pays him no attention, but the man keeps staring in the direction of Ben's building. After a moment, it clicks. That man outside isn't crazy. He's a hunter. The hunters have found the hostel. Ben hides, slipping into the washroom. But the window is blocked. There's no way out. Ben smashes the mirror and uses the shards to improvise a solution. He manages to evade the hunters and make his way forward. He shouts out loud, "I saw Ben Richards." Ben climbs up to the roof. He grabs hold of a wire and slides down toward his room's window. He shatters the glass and climbs back inside. But the noise gives away his location. All the hunters converge on his room. The live streaming camera crew is right behind them, ready to capture everything. But Ben has already grabbed all his belongings and leaps out of the window. He catches hold of a wire and dangles from it. McCone is standing right below him. Ben swings himself into another room. He runs and dives into an elevator. But the elevator is broken. It gets stuck halfway down. Ben hurls the hand grenade at McCone. McCone throws it right back at him. The grenade explodes, and the blast sends the elevator plummeting straight down to the basement. Ben lights a magazine on fire, using it as a makeshift torch. But in his panic, he accidentally sets the basement on fire. The hunters close in on him. Ben spots some rats scurrying into the sewer. He follows them in. The moment he drops into the sewer, a massive explosion tears through the basement above. Ben survives because he's submerged in water. Soaking wet, he records his daily video. 8 network guards died in that explosion. A young boy witnesses everything. He spots Ben hiding. Ben grabs him. "Did you report me?" But the boy didn't come here to turn him in. He came to help. "Stay right here," the boy says. "I'll go get my older brother." A few minutes later, he returns. Ben offers to pay them. The little boy asks for $5 new. They need medicine for their sister, who's suffering from cancer. His older brother, Bradley, leads Ben away. They arrive at their home. Ben asks, "You could have reported me and made just as much money. But this family is against the network." Ben offers them $500 new if Bradley can get him out of Boston. Bradley looks at him curiously. "You seem pretty smart. Why'd you choose to go on this show?" Ben's voice softens. "For my family. My daughter is sick too, just like your sister. I want to win this and get them out of Slumside." Bradley nods. It'll take him a few days to arrange Ben's escape. Until then, Ben can hide here. Bradley knows everything about the Running Man. He's secretly a streamer who tracks all the behind-the-scenes details of the show. The network has 3 types for every run, Bradley explains. Type 1, the hopeless dude, usually lasts less than 48 hours. That was Tim in this run. Type 2, the negative dude. He knows he doesn't have a chance, so he just enjoys himself. Usually gets caught by week 1. Then there's Type 3, the final dude. He has a fierce will to survive. But he never wins because the network cheats. They can find anyone, anytime. But they let them run free for the ratings. By week 2, ratings peak. The crowd wants blood. And the final dude becomes the victim of his own success. Right now, after last night's escape, you've become the final dude. And the network's going to squeeze every single drop of ratings out of you. So you've got until the negative dude dies. That's your window. And in that time, I'm going to set you up for the biggest underdog win in game show history. Bradley gets to work on the plan. In the background, his little sister is crying. Ben watches her, and his own family floods back into his mind. He asks what happened to her. Bradley tells him his 5-year-old sister has cancer from radioactive dust, fallout from an explosion in Rhode Island. But the network covered it up. They buried the story completely, because they own the news. That day, in his video recording, Ben speaks directly about it. The network is giving our kids cancer, and they're covering it up. But when the Running Man goes live, they twist everything. They paint the guards as heroes and Ben as the villain. They alter his footage, making it look like Ben killed those guards in cold blood, laughing without a shred of remorse. Ben watches in disbelief. I didn't say any of that. But Bradley's mother is furious. She demands Ben leave her house immediately. Bradley and his younger brother stuff Ben into the trunk of their car and drive off. But biker gangs catch on, chasing them down for Ben's bounty. Ben can hear everything from inside the trunk. A bullet strikes the trunk, and the latch pops open. Ben grabs a wrench and swings it at one of the bikers, knocking him off. Another bike crashes into the first. Bradley runs both bikers over, crushing them beneath his car. He tells Richard to get on the next train and meet up with his contact, Elton. And don't mention hot dogs around him, Bradley warns. Before Ben leaves, Bradley gives him advice. The network tracks your video envelopes. So pre-shoot all your tapes now. My guy will keep posting them as you head south. Bradley hands Ben a gun as well. Bradley's younger brother spray paints graffiti on the wall. Richard lives. Day 7 begins. Richard travels by train and checks into a hotel for the night. Meanwhile, Laughlin is partying, completely carefree. She has no fear of getting caught. At the hotel, people are placing bets on who dies first. Ben disguises himself as a blind man and moves through the crowd. But just as he steps outside to post his videotape, a man stops him, thinking he's actually blind, asking him questions. Ben answers and tries to leave. But the man is about to report him. Ben stops him before he can. Ben posts the video and takes off running. A car speeds after him, a man is firing shots. Ben runs toward a moving train. Bullets fly past him. He leaps onto the train and escapes. By day 13, Richard is seeing Richard Lives graffiti all over different locations. Meanwhile, Laughlin has been spotted at a casino. The hunters arrive. She runs, trying to escape. Chief McCone opens fire on her. Laughlin manages to steal a car and speeds away. But the show's host announces that Laughlin has been killed. 2 kids with a flamethrower took her down. And it was all captured on camera while she was recording her daily video. Now there's only one runner left, Ben Richards. He makes his way to Bradley's contact, Elton. Elton lives with his mother, who's watching Ben on TV, shouting, "Hunt him!" Elton reassures Ben. "Don't worry. She's fairly deaf and thinks you're an actual demon." Elton takes Ben down to his lab. There's a hot dog cart sitting there. Elton explains that the network has hidden DNA sniffers inside every street lamp across the country. That's why you need to get underground as soon as possible. Ben looks at the hot dog cart. "What's the deal with this thing?" Elton's voice hardens. "My father was a cop, but he quit in protest when the network privatized the local police. He bought this cart and worked hard to feed us. But his old friends who signed on with NCG didn't appreciate his choices. They let my dad know every chance they got. His buddies on the force never solved the case, because they're the ones who killed him. But now his father's ideas live on through him. Before he was killed, my dad refurbished a Cold War shelter he found in a nearby forest. You can survive there for 2 weeks, easy. We'll pre-shoot the rest of your tapes tomorrow." Elton tells Ben that once Ben wins, he's going to distribute all the network secrets, all their heinous crimes, to the public. Ben frowns. "What does that have to do with me?" Elton leans forward. "You're the initiator of this bomb. People are cheering for you. Because if you can survive those goons, so can they. This country is ready to blow. And you're the one who's going to set it off." Elton shows Ben where he'll sleep. Ben looks worried. "If they find out you're helping me, they'll come for you too." The next day, Ben pre-records all his videotapes. In one of them, he speaks directly to his daughter, telling her to take care of her mom. But while he's recording, Elton's mother recognizes him. She tries to report him. Elton stops her. Ben tries to reason with her. NCG will come in firing. They won't care who gets caught in the crossfire. We don't need every goon in the state coming through that door. Hearing this, Elton makes a decision. He reports Ben himself. He's doing this to get revenge on the goons. Ben grabs his things. But the goons immediately open fire from outside. They surround the entire house. Elton gets his mother into the safe room. He's prepared an electrified trap for the goons outside. As soon as they approach, he attacks them with a water gun. The goons are hit with a massive electrical current. Elton has rigged traps all over the house. The goons keep falling into them. When they rush up the stairs, he releases a mechanism that sends them tumbling back down. Elton and Ben slide down a pole to the ground floor. Beneath the hot dog cart, there's a tunnel. They make it into the tunnel. But a hunter suddenly stabs Elton. Ben and the hunter fight hand to hand. The hunter is overpowering him. But Elton grabs the hunter's own knife and slashes his gut open. Ben and Elton try to escape. But the hunter's phone rings. The call is for Ben. It's Dan, the show's producer. You're killing it. You can win this show. You just have to play it smart. Dan has sent a rover for Ben. He tells Ben to kill the hunter and wait for his cue. But instead of killing the hunter, Ben shoots the camera. Elton and Ben take the rover and escape. The network's helicopter is already chasing them. Elton hands Ben the map to the underground shelter. But then a bullet hits him. Chief McCone fired the shot from the helicopter. The hunter from before catches up to Ben. But Ben's rover is loaded with explosives. He shouts, "I am the initiator," and rams the rover straight into the hunter's vehicle. Then he leaps into the water. Day 17 begins. Ben has to follow the map to reach the shelter. He pushes forward, but he's exhausted. In his fatigue, he starts to see visions of his family up ahead, waiting for him. Richard wakes up with tears in his eyes. He records a video, his voice steady. "I understand now. I understand how this game works. You want good ratings? I'll give you chaos. I'm done playing defensive. I'm going to see my family again. No matter who you throw at me, I will run through all of them." The DNA sniffer on the street lamp sends his location to the goons. Ben sees them coming. He hijacks a civilian's car at gunpoint, forcing the driver to get them away from the goons. The driver is a young woman, and she drives recklessly, somehow managing to shake the goons off their tail. Ben tells her, "Keep heading toward the northern border, and say what you want to say." The woman, Amelia, unleashes on him. "You abandoned that starving baby and that horrible wife of yours just to kill the people who protect us." Ben tells her the truth. "I love my family more than anything, but you people think you're different from people like us." He looks at her. "How much is your scarf? I bet it's more than the meds my daughter needed when she was dying from the flu." Amelia starts to cry. Suddenly, her car automatically yields for an oncoming truck. Two armed men step out. They tell Amelia to get out of the car safely. But a network camera overhead opens fire, killing them instantly. Amelia is in shock. "What's happening?" Ben says quietly, "I'm not the bad guy." And now, after seeing that, they're not going to let you walk away. On TV, the show introduces Amelia as Richard's hostage. They show altered footage of her screaming out the car window. Ben and Amelia keep driving. Along the road, crowds are chanting, "Richard lives." Up ahead, there's a blockade. Ben tells her, "Keep driving, they'll let us through." They won't kill Richard without the show going live. Ben even throws his gun out of the car. Now Chief McCone is standing in front of them. Ben lies to his face. "I've got 12 pounds of black Irish. That's the BFE explosive. It'll vaporize everything within half a mile radius." The people nearby start panicking. Chief McCone calls Ben's bluff. But Ben fires back, "Maybe Malia didn't tell you everything." In exchange for not detonating it, Ben demands an airplane, 2 parachutes, and safe passage out. Ben tells Amelia, "This is your chance to run." But Amelia stays with him. She wants to prove she's not a bad person either. At Dan's order, McCone lets them through. Ben's plan is simple: make everyone believe Amelia's purse contains the bomb until they cross the border. He just has to keep the audience entertained long enough. Ben and Amelia board the airplane with Chief McCone. Ben makes another demand: "Take off your mask." At the producer's insistence, McCone has no choice but to comply. Ben enters the cockpit. 3 pilots are sitting there, but they're actually hunters. Ben smirks. "Looks like you're missing one. Better make sure he doesn't sneak up on me." He tells them to head toward Canada. The hidden hunter quietly steps out from his hiding spot. The show is going live in 6 minutes, but McCone can't wait any longer. Amelia steps between them, stopping the fight. She pretends to be terrified of the bomb, hoping to scare McCone into backing off. McCone calms down and sits Amelia down. Then a voice comes through on video call. "We know you're bluffing. This airplane has scanners. They scanned that handbag the moment you boarded." McCone aims his gun at Ben, but Dan doesn't want him to kill Ben before the show starts. He takes McCone's gun and sends him to the back of the plane. Dan speaks to Ben privately. Because of Ben's skyrocketing popularity, he offers him a new position: become their newest hunter. He'll earn $5 million per season. All he has to do is kill every hunter on this jet. After that, Dan will remotely pilot the plane back to the studio, where the President of the USA will officially name him Hunter number 6. Dan adds, "This revenge plot will be huge." Ben frowns. "Revenge for what?" Dan's voice goes cold. "Revenge for your wife and child. If they were still alive, I'd hold them at gunpoint and force you to do whatever I want. But Chief McCone and his men killed my family to avenge that Hunter you killed." Ben's rage ignites. Dan's plan is to show this footage to the public. The people who are already on Ben's side will turn against McCone and support Ben even more. Dan tells Ben there's a gun hidden behind the coffee machine. The show goes live in 30 seconds. When the show starts, the host shows the audience the clip. Ben grabs the gun from behind the coffee machine and starts taking out the hunters one by one. The fight causes the plane to nosedive. Dan remotely stabilizes it. In the chaos, Ben manages to kill the remaining hunters. Only Chief McCone is left. He's grabbed a parachute and gone into hiding. Ben searches the airplane's restrooms, but McCone isn't there. Ben moves forward. McCone ambushes him from behind. They fight viciously. McCone grabs a shard of mirror and stabs Ben in the stomach. He leans in close. Dan told you the right lie to get a season finale. McCone reveals the truth. "I got the same deal you did. And now I only see my family when they torture them in front of me, just to make sure I do everything they say." McCone is about to shoot Ben when Dan remotely jerks the plane. But McCone still has his gun aimed at Ben. Ben rips McCone's parachute open. McCone gets sucked toward the broken window, clinging to the side of the plane. Ben grabs the knife and finishes him off. He wraps Amelia's scarf around his wound. He gives her the last parachute and pushes her out of the plane. A camera follows her descent. The show's host announces that the best surgeons are waiting on the tarmac to treat Richard. But first, Dan wants to speak with him. He announces to the public that Ben is now Hunter 6. But Ben asks about his family. He tells the live audience the whole truth. Why he came here, what the network has done, how they've been manipulating everyone. Dan cuts in with a smirk. "None of what you just said reached the audience. We're running an ad break." On the show, they air altered footage of Ben threatening to crash his plane into the network building. But in reality, Dan is the one piloting the plane toward the network building. NCG missiles destroy it from a distance. But then Bradley releases a video, exposing the truth to everyone. The network showed us all lies. First, they cut to ads 6 minutes earlier than usual because they needed time to alter Ben's video. Then they swapped out the entire audience. We had no idea what really happened on that plane until a revolutionary girl found the plane's black box. They hacked it and found the real audio. That's when everyone learned the truth about the network. But one truth still remains unknown. Did the hunters really assassinate Ben's family? And did Ben survive that blast? Research shows that plane had a crew escape pod. So did Ben cheat death one last time? The scene shifts to Sheila and her daughter. They're alive, shopping for groceries together. Suddenly, Sheila finds a pair of socks beside her. The receptionist tells her, "The guy outside bought this for you, Miss Richards." Outside, Richard is wearing a mask. Sheila goes to meet him. Meanwhile, at the next season of Running Man, the entire audience is chanting, "Richard lives." The host sees it and walks off the job. Dan threatens him, "You think you can just walk?" But Bobby doesn't listen. He's done. Dan has to go on stage himself. "This is my show," he shouts. But the moment he steps out, the audience attacks him. They riot, tearing the place apart. Dan barely escapes with his life. And standing in front of him is Ben Richards. Ben pulls the trigger and ends him. And with that, our story comes to an end. Let us know in the comments how you liked this explanation. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.